on, Demetrius. Garden.
Which one of you? What are you going to do with it now? All right, lift it up.
Flip it. I don't touch those things.
Why the gloves? Why the gloves? Are you scared of it? Where did you find it?
Over there. He opened his mouth once.
Yeah.
Where did you find him, though? Over there. That could be.
And you know, in the back.
Oh, in the back of the jug.
All right, why don't you go put him in my garden and let him eat bugs? That's where he's going. You can't keep him, he'll die.
This is your kid?
Oh, John.
Where did you live before? What part of the city you come from?
Southside. Chicago.
Well, how was that?
Rough.
What was it? How was that? Tell me.
Too many gang bangs, too many thieves, too many burglaries, too much robbing, too much everything. It just wasn't right. You know?
And here is quiet completely?
Right.
Yeah.
More quiet. Yeah.
Better.
Yeah. No thief, no burglary. No, you can't. It's nice out here. Very nice.
Oh, man.
Corey, come here. Come here. This is my son. Come here. This
Well,
turn
John
around.
Boss
Look, they got
one.
camera. Yeah, camera. This is my son right here.
Come on, balloon.
Jesus.
Bust it.
You can't have that doing.
Charles, you wouldn't hit a child. You wouldn't hit a child.
Please bring home some milk with you when you come.
Okay, where's the checkbook?
Ah, there. Oh, and some salt.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, and aspirins. Don't forget Excedrins. Look, go over to Osco. You can get them cheaper, and you can give them a check there, and you can get the milk and everything right there. Okay? Not Osco. What's the matter with me? Open that door. Tell him I said Cavettes. Tell him to go to Cavettes.
Cavett! All right, he knows.
Okay, there's some milk.
So what was exactly
all right.
this through the night, which you told me this at 2 o'clock?
Oh, this goes on. It's all day and all night. Every day. There's no
How it starts? What is it?
parties. The kid says they all drink. You know, that there's lots of drinking goes on. When they moved in, like a good neighbor, I was working out in the backyard. And they moved in the 1st of June. And I was working in the backyard, and the two mothers, who are sisters, came around the back there. They had no car. You can't live out here without a car. And they asked me where the 7-Eleven was, the White Hen. And so I gave them directions. I said, are you the people who are moving into the house over there, you know, and welcome and everything? And I said, oh, you're going to like it here. It's a nice neighborhood. You don't have to worry about having things stolen from your patio. We didn't until they moved in. And then, you know, like you do with new neighbors, I invited them in, and, you know, we were sitting down in the basement talking, and they would seem to be very nice. And the oldest little boy, Demetrius, came over, and then they left, and they went to the store, and I didn't think anything of it. Well, she told me she had a lot of children. They admitted to 7 children in the house. She said she had 5 and the sister had 2, and she and her sister were living there with the mother. Well, this would make 10 people in that house, which is a lot of people. But I had 7 children, and, you know, kids don't bother me, so I wasn't concerned about it at all. Then the night came, and the men started coming, and the other kids. And I swear they must know everybody in the world, because I went over there after 4 nights of the parties, 4 nights of not getting any sleep at all. I finally went over, and I figured, all right, I'll talk to them, you know. She had told me they came from a very bad area, so I figured, okay, I'll go over and talk to them. You know, maybe I can talk them into changing their ways. And I just begged them. I said, please, you've got to let me sleep. You've got to keep quiet over here. You can't stay awake all night like this. You can't. The whole neighborhood's going to be on their ear. Little did I know that the whole neighborhood was already on their ear. And so then I said, I don't want you people to have to move. I like you. I like your children. Your children are better off here. I just want to get some sleep at night. Oh, okay, if everything's fine. That morning, I counted 22 people in that house had all slept there, because this was at about 8:30 in the morning. And they were all in various stages of undress and had obviously slept there. 22 people. 15 of them were children. Where they all slept, I don't know. Where they all took baths, I don't know.
Anthony.
What's your name?
Anisha. Adele.
Jeanette, Regina, Demetrius, Tracy,
Anthony. Anisha.
What's gonna happen?
I don't know. See, they call the cop all the time come over. All the time. Her watch our house every time we come out.
What?
Over there watch our house every time we come outside. Come home every night. Watch our house every morning.
I be chasing one, I be knocking them down, I come get the other, knock them down. I have a fight for everybody around this block. And I had a fight down there, one down there, one across the street from over here, and I had a fight down there, and I had another fight down there. I had 5 fights. One keep on messing with me, I'm just gonna have to start beating him up. I don't play.
He a girl. He was outside last night fight a girl. I had to go out there and get him too. Got y'all had him down garage stick.
He need
boy, y'all
garage
them shoes.
sticks. No, I need fists.
The charming children on White Oak Lane have done to my car in 2 months. I come out here, I take them home to their parents, and their parents look at me like, my little Johnny didn't do it. I don't care what you say or what, the child standing next to him says. My little Johnny doesn't do things like that. Well, I got news for you. Little Johnny does and did. You cannot have anything decent out here anymore. You cannot. I don't bring my friends out here. I wouldn't want them out here. My social life is not in my home. I do my socializing in the city, with people who are reasonable and of reasonable intelligence. And you're telling me to go interact with these people. I'm sorry. I don't take a $12,500 car that some little kid from the ghettos of Chicago is going to do this to and go interact with them. And you can't expect me to.
Well,
what am I supposed to
avoid
say?
the next...
Forgiven. How many times do you forgive? How many times do you walk these kids home and explain to their parents what they're doing? How many times do you tell the little swinging 16-year-old black boys that you don't like the crude, lewd remarks that they're making to your daughter who's trying to mind her own business? Pretty soon you get damn sick and tired of it and you say, I can afford to go someplace else, so I am going to get the hell out of here and go. That's what it boils down to, and that's what I'm doing.
I'll sell, and I'll probably buy a single-family home with my own yard. I'm getting very territorial. That's what this place has taught me. I want my own little yard, my little garage to put my car in that I can take care of, and I'll get involved in the community. But I basically, what turned me off here is there's a lack of respect for privacy and property.
Oh.
Everything is for everybody here. That's the problem. You see these beautiful trees and the kids basically playing tetherball around them and breaking the branches. That hurts. There's just too much of this community that's going down.
Because of this one family, everybody's moving?
Mm-hmm. And everybody's calling the police. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if it happens again. My mother's just gonna call the police because my father had to come out here once just because I touched that girl right there, and because she kicked my brother in the head. Just tripped and she started crying right over there. See, and there's the kid that had the big wheel, Seth.
Yep, that's his big wheel.
That's
They
Seth.
broke it.
They broke his big wheel.
No,
The front wheel.
Yes,
It was blue and purple. It says big wheel blue and purple.
No,
What color is it?
blue. It's blue and red. It's not blue and purple.
Well, it was blue and
Seth, nobody broke your big wheel.
red. Cause I seen them with them. It looked like they had your big wheel.
Or it looked like it, but it wasn't. It was red and blue.
Finding the broken beer bottle and the glass on the patio is another reason to get out of here.
So who's getting out?
I understand just about everybody on the row. My neighbor right next door and a couple of doors down, both moving.
So his daughter said, that's when he goes riding. And then he told me that the reason he has the loud muffler on is because he has to go into the city. And he has to go on the expressways. And it sounds a little iffy to me. Now, I can't say, I don't know, but I know this much, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch hard, because if what that girl, one of the neighbor girls told me, that the daughter told her that her father was a gang member and that he rode at night, that was when when he went off on that motorcycle, that was when he was doing that. Now, that might be kid talk, I don't know, but I'm gonna find out.
Come here, closer. What was the story on this soccer ball? Tell me the story. How was it?
It was great.
Did you take it really?
No, not really.
Did you get to their house? Did you open the door? And then did you take the ball?
No.
What did you do?
Nothing. If he went in the house, he had to get the ball now.
You know the story.
If
Tell
he's
me.
the soccer ball. That you know that orange and black ball, soccer ball.
Look at those sucker brothers. That's my mother's liar.
I ain't no liar like you.
You won.
Uh-oh,
Don't put that on camera. There's gonna be some bleeding now.
Now that's good, he's got the ears, see? That's it. Remember the day that you walked us home when we were lost that day? The first day we were out here and you showed us how to get home? And the day you came over and played, got the organ fixed. The day you came over and played the organ and everything. All right, when that bike was stolen, I felt terrible, and I told you that, you know. I wasn't angry. I was sad. I was hurt. Because, honey, don't, for heaven's sakes, cry. I'm not mad at you. I'm really not mad at you.
Before we came out here, we lived on Ingleside, and then in Chicago we lived on Ingleside, and then we moved on Marquette. That was still in Chicago. Then we came out here on Cordova, and we had a lot of friends there, but we can't go in Cordova no more as long as if our mother takes us.
What's happened to their mother?
Laverne is their mother. Laverne is their mother, and Laverne is our auntie.
And what's happened to your mother?
He passed somewhere in July. And then we came out here because that house on Cordova was too small. So we rather move out here. And then we just stayed out here. We made a lot of friends like them. Made a lot of friends, but we having too many fights. Demetrius, he was on our porch, and
our mother, our auntie, she said for nobody to come on the porch because things been happening to our bikes and stuff. And then he was sitting on that porch, and we asked him, could he please get off the porch, and he just didn't want to. And then he just got up and, wanted to fight, so I just fighted him.
I pick him up and threw him on that car real hard, punched him all in his stomach, and I would kick him. Now beat his mess out of him till he cry.
You don't cry.
You fool! It's somebody pick him up and throw him to a brick wall. He will. We just found out that we didn't have enough friends.
Look at your knees.
So we ready to go up Snake Hill and just ride down on the bike. And the first time I jumped there, I was scared. Too scared.
Go!
Maybe this is what happens in every neighborhood. New people move in, and if you weren't a part of the original group, not out of malicious motivation, but you just didn't make friends with the new people that moved in because you had friends. That's all. No evil reason. You already had your friends. As that happened more and more and more and more and more, pretty soon most of the people in the neighborhood were new people. And there were very few of the original people left, and yet still you relied most heavily on your old friends. And I think it's just a natural... Oh! It's all right, John.
But how could you overlook the fact that a new breed of people completely come? The ghetto, low-income people for whom this is moving to a paradise, and nobody is greeting.
A lot of that has to do with, a lot of things. Fear of them, misunderstanding, simply the fact that you get consumed with your own life. I mean, let me tell you, as a single parent, I have a whole lot less time to be hobnobbing with my neighbors. It's reflective of how difficult things are, how scared and isolated and alienated people are generally, that they're going to be blown off the face of the earth the day after tomorrow. You have a tendency to pull in. Let me protect my little family unit and not worry about people around me. Well, the trouble with that, you're right, is that you become alienated too.
Hey, who do we appreciate? Yay!
Thank you very much.
When houses are at market rate and blacks are moving in, that isn't really a problem. What happens, though, is that as whites begin to leave and middle-class blacks begin to leave, they are replaced by the only people left in the market. Ooh. I say I'm scared, I'm uncomfortable. I would like to be with more people who are more like me, who are educated, who share middle-class values, and I am uncomfortable in the absence of it. That's what I say. And so my house is on the market. Not very successfully, it appears, but it is on the market.
How you doing?
I will designate as we go along. We did the nostalgia last night when the girls were here, and we were cleaning out the drawers and we were finding old cards from people and things like that. We did all of our nostalgia last night and got it out of the way, so today could just be happy.
It only started the 1st of June. Before that, there were no problems here. No one thought about these things. At least if they did, I didn't hear anything about it. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to stay.
The new house is more in actually a Frank Lloyd Wright style, the prairie style, very open, spaced. And so the arrangements will be totally different. The rooms are not boxed and closed up like these rooms are.
Cool it. We lived on 112th and King Drive. He's never been on a leash, even from a puppy. And he don't like it because he tore him off his neck. Even a chain, and he just snapped the leeches are loose. Cool, but it's all right. It's all right. Okay? And I say, now everybody's leaving. That's it. My kids don't want to move either.
There you go. There we go.
Now you put it down here.
Good stack of hard wings. This is mine. Get mine.
There's a tree.
Mommy.
They were evicted. We will have to now get the police out here because there are various pieces of property here that they've left that I don't know who it belongs to. We have a couple of extra bicycles right here that I know that are not our tenants. We also have a dryer over here that I don't know who it belongs to. We initially thought that we interviewed May and her 2 daughters that that's who'd be occupying the premises. We come to learn that it was not only her and her 2 daughters, but her 2 daughters had numerous kids and a couple brothers, one quote-unquote paroled from state institution or state facilities down south. And it's a shame that this area, being a nice area and nice people living around here, both black and white, that there should be this kind of problem.
White people watch the news and see blacks killing one another. So they say, we have to get out of here. We can't be around all these blacks. We don't want this to happen, so we have to leave.
True.
So the whites say, forget it, we don't want to be around blacks, let's move. So when the blacks move in, they leave. Just like out here. Give it another 5 years. I guarantee you it's going to be more black than white because the whites don't want to be around the blacks, so they have to leave.
I don't think it was a white or black thing. I think it was a middle class situation where people had come to a neighborhood, wanted to set some standards for the neighborhood, and then people saw that those standards were slipping away, and they wanted to leave. They thought all the horrible things that can happen. One, the property value were going to drop. Some of the allegations of things that occurred you couldn't substantiate, but you had a feeling as to what was happening. And as you get more and more reports, people getting afraid. People across the street were talking about moving. People over here were talking about moving. And I just moved into the neighborhood about a year ago. And I guess I could be partially responsible because I decided to say, hey, let's fight. If a neighborhood sets a certain standard for the inhabitants to live and where we can enjoy one another, where we get along and where we don't have to fear one another, I said that neighborhood should fight for those standards. And let's do something about it. And be careful. But a lot of people didn't want to do anything about it. They said, well, it won't really do any good to fight because we can't get anything accomplished. I didn't believe that. And so one day I came home and the kids were in the garbage. And I called child abuse hotline. I called about 30 agencies and got the runaround. I mean, complete, absolute runaround. And they said they couldn't do anything. One of the guys from child abuse came out to investigate. He said, well, 2 of the kids were in college and there are 2 other adults in the house. I said, no, you must not be talking about the same house. Because I think at that time there were 14 kids in the house and 2 adults, and one of the ladies was there supervising them. And I said the kids were eating out the garbage. Well, they made me believe I was crazy. So I went and checked with the neighborhood to find out what was happening and find out the kids were going in the garbage not only here but next door, all the way down the street. So there was a problem. But as you talk to the authorities, they begin to think it's either, I guess originally they thought I was white and they thought that I was putting pressure on them because they were black.
Let's spend some time. Let's give something of ourselves with the children. I sit out and back and I read stories to the children. I tell them stories. I listen to them. I let them bring their snakes to my house.
I mean, that's excellent, but
But that's something that we can do right away without spending any money.
Part of that is the fact that you're there all the time. Right. I don't know how willing I would be after having looked down the throats of 35 little children all day long to listen to one more story.
Well, but I'm going to admit that I'm not your average run-of-the-mill person. I am offering myself as, what do you want to call it, a counselor, friend?
Surrogate parent.
Maybe, I don't know.
Thanks, I needed that. Me too. Now I don't have to take a bath or a shower. Oh. Oh, I got you. I got you. I need you to turn a hose on me.
Why don't you take your shirts off at least?